Hey, this is Jared again. This time I'm gonna make a video about my favorite manga of all time. There's gonna be 4 videos in all. First 2 is for ongoing manga, and then the other ones are for completed manga. And I'm separating them because I just don't think it's really right to have the ongoing and the completed in one thing. Um, Ongoing manga can suddenly take a turn for the worse, then suddenly it's just not on the list anymore. So I decided to separate completed and ongoing. Um, I was gonna make it 10, but then there were so many honorable mentions that I just figured I'll just make 20 instead. So first, I think I'll start with completed manga. Alright, so let's see. Number 20 is Black Cat. And I chose Black Cat because it's a really good story about an ex-assassin who became a bounty hunter. His name is Train, which isn't the best name, I think. But anyways, he's a bounty hunter, and his partner, they go on, different adventures. And soon his past catches up with them because his old assassin colleagues or whatever try to find him. And the organization is separated into numbers, like the best assassin is number 1, and so on. And his number was 13, so Unlucky 13, Black Hat, that's why it's called that. The series is only about 20 volumes, I think, and it was left kind of on a cliffhanger. It had a conclusion, but it could have kept going, and I think the author was going to make a part 2. But then he got really famous for To Love Ru. His name's Kentaro Yabuki. I don't know. I got nothing against To Love Ru. It's not as good. It's basically all fan service, and I got nothing against fan service or mangas that solely revolve around fan service. I mean, I've got some, but it doesn't make it a good manga, and it kind of bothers me that a good manga is being put on hold for just a mediocre one. But who knows, maybe one day he'll continue it. Alright, number 19 is a manga that I don't own because it was never released in English, and that would be Beelzebub. Beelzebub is a shonen manga that's all about fighting, pretty much. It's kind of hard to describe the plot because it's so out there. But basically, the main character goes to a school just filled with like punk kids and who start fights or whatever, and he goes around fighting them. And he gets his help from a baby he found who's actually the future Prince of Hell. His name's Beelzebub, and it's just their adventures together. And while the fighting is really good, the thing I really like about it is the comedy. It's probably the funniest manga I've ever read. It's great. So you should really check it out. Great fighting, hilarious, great combo. Alright, number 18 now would be Future Diary. Future Diary I chose because it reminded me of my favorite book, which is Battle Royale. You got a group of people, about 12 I think, and they're all fighting against each other, trying to kill one another. And whoever is the lone survivor gets to become pretty much God, which is a lot bigger stakes than Battle Royale or Hunger Games or any of those kind of books. So it really makes you want to see like what's going to happen. And each of the 12 contestants are really unique and different, so it's really good that way. This is probably the most recent one I read. I just read it last year. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And there's about 13 volumes. You could only get 10 of them though here in English because Tokyo Pop went out of business, but you can still read the rest of it online. So normally I don't promote reading online because I like to buy books and support the industry, but sometimes you don't really have a choice. Alright, so now let's see, number 17. Yeah, number 17 is Azumanga Daioh. This one is just a slice of life manga. It's got comedy in it. It's just about a bunch of high school girls. There's like they're all around on the cover. But basically, it's just their time in high school. That's about it. Just their daily lives. It's very, well, I don't know, easy to read. Like you can pretty much open this book anywhere and just start reading. I mean, after you've read it once. You know, when you want to reread a series, you usually have to start at the beginning because then you're like, wait, who was this again? But this one, you can just start whenever. It was released originally in like 4 volumes, but they just released this omnibus with it all in just one thing. So I highly recommend getting it. It's a really good series. It's great if you just want to sit down and read for a couple minutes if you don't have really time to delve into something. So that's Manga that. Alright, number 16 would be Pluto. Pluto is by Urasawa, Naoki Urasawa, I think this is full name. And this story isn't actually original. It's based off of a story from Astro Boy, where the main story was about a character called Pluto. And unlike, though, the old, like, 60s childish-looking manga, this one, the artwork of Urasawa is always serious, always great. And a combination of Urasawa's greatness plus Osamu Tezuka, who's considered the father of manga, who created Astro Boy, you know, both those together make a great combination. Adam is Astro Boy, that's his original Japanese name, but Adam's not even the main character in this. It's actually a detective, and he's trying to figure out who's murdering famous robots of the world. 7, to be exact, 7 famous robots, Astro Boy being one of them, and who's trying to murder them and people who are close to them. And it's a really good story. Urasawa's mangas are always amazing, and most people will know him for his manga Monster, and I love Monster and all, but I like this one more, mainly because it's sci-fi and Monster is very realistic. I always like sci-fi stuff. So, yeah, Pluto. It's only 8 volumes, so you should really go check it out. Really good stuff. Alright, let's see, where am I? Alright, 1, 2... So 15, sorry, I'm terrible with numbers, but 15 is Higurashi, When They Cry. Higurashi is a horror manga. It's, geez, this plot is way out there, but basically a new kid moves into a small town, and the small town has some demons in them, you know, figuratively, you know, in their past, and the whole town has like this big secret, and this new kid is like freaked out by it. And what's really interesting about this manga is that it's separated into arcs, and each arc retells the story of this kid moving into town. And each time it's a little different, sometimes majorly different, but each time you get another piece of the puzzle of the story. And the first couple of arcs are the question arcs, so each time it ends you're just going to be left with more questions, like what is going on here? But then the answer arcs is when Higurashi gets really good. You start figuring out things, and you find out how the arcs are connected, and overall it just ended up being really good. And it's only about 25 volumes. The last volume just came out recently here in the US, but it's a great series. I recommend checking it out. Alright, number 14 would be Siren. Siren was recommended to me by a friend who really loves this manga, and he also really loves The Matrix, and there are similarities between it, and it's not like a rip-off or anything. It's got the same flavor, and it's really good about people from present day trying to stop from an apocalyptic future from happening, and they all got powers or whatever, and yeah, that's basically all I can say about it. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to spoil anything. It's only about 15 or 16 volumes. It's really short. I heard the author had to kind of rush the ending, which luckily it didn't feel like it was rushed, so that's good. I guess it wasn't as popular as, you know, other mangas, which is sad because I thought it was really good. So yeah, that's Siren. Alright, number 13 is gonna kind of upset people, whether they think it's dumb of me to have it on the list or it's too high up on the list. It needs to be like number 1 or 2. But that would be Death Note. A lot of people love Death Note, and I totally understand why. It's a great manga. If you don't know it, it's just about a kid who finds a notebook where if he writes names in it, then that person dies. That's the basic outline. I mean, there's so much more to it. The notebook has a ton of rules and stuff, but that's the basic of it. And it's only 12 volumes. Most people have read Death Note. It's really famous, and it's really good. The only reason why it's this high up on my list is because I felt that it kind of dragged on a little long. And it's only 12 volumes, and I thought it dragged on a little long, so that's saying something. Luckily, the final volume was really good. It gave a good conclusion. But don't let me saying that it drags on or whatever to be bad. It's really good. It's number 13 on my list. So Death Note should definitely be checked out. I think any manga readers have already read it, but if you haven't really read manga, this is a good one to start. It does a good job at transitioning people into the world of anime, because let's face it, anime is pretty out there sometimes. But yeah, Death Note number 13. Alright, number 12 would be Cage of Eden. Cage of Eden, its plot is very similar to a TV show called Lost, and that's one of my favorite TV shows. Basically, a plane crashes on a mysterious island, a lot of weird stuff happens on it, people die off. So, you know, I think it's really great. I'm not sure how many volumes it is total, but it's still being released here in the US. The only downside is the ending was kind of rushed. And that's only because it wasn't getting enough attention in Japan. I think it's more famous here in the US than in Japan. And honestly, I think this could have been a lot higher on my list if it wasn't for that. It's a shame that happened, but you know, it happens. But overall, it's still a great manga, and I really recommend it. So that's Cage of Eden, number 12. And the last one for this video, number 11, is going to be Great Teacher Onizuka, also known as GTO. This series is such a great story. It's about a guy who used to be just a punk kid, teenager. He was in a bike gang, and he decides to become a teacher for the stupidest reason, for picking up women. I don't know. But basically, he becomes a teacher, and they put him with this class with just the worst kids, and they always make teachers like run out and leave. But luckily, you know, he's like them. He's tough, so he can handle it, and it's just great. He takes what they give, and he gets it back at them, and it's really funny. But he also connects with them and helps them out, and by the end, you know, it works out well. And the series is about 27 volumes, somewhere around there. It has a prequel that, well, it's not really a prequel because it came first, about his teenage years, and then this series came out. But here in America, this one came out first. So when they released the original series here, they called it GTO, the early years. I don't know the real Japanese name, it's something else. But that series is good too, and I kind of recommend reading that one first, just because there are hints of that manga in this one. You know, there were some times when I was reading this where I was just like, what are they talking about? It's not necessary, but it's still a good series too. And if you enjoy this one, there's a sequel to this one too. But yeah, that's GTO number 11. And I'll finish up with 10 through 1 in the next video. So, yeah.